Well, Coasters, it's Bruce here from the Coasters Club, and today I'm in speaking with John Pfeifer. Now the reason is that tomorrow is 30 years, John.
That's right, Bruce. Yeah, 30 years. Up and down for 30 years, but it's worked out.
30 years fixing our little errors that we've made when we've been driving.
That's it. Yeah.
When did you become a panel beater?
It would be. I would have been 17. So it's 48 years ago, thereabouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did your mum and dad do?
Dad was a builder and mum was a school teacher.
And locally in Greymouth?
Well, mum's an Auckland girl,
yeah.
So she's done the school teaching. She met Dad, he's up in the league trip, he played rugby league.
Right.
And they hooked up there and come back and she moved to the West Coast.
Oh, you brought an Auckland girl in?
Yeah, he brought an Auckland girl down, yeah. Bit of a shock for her, but no, she enjoyed the time here.
And so you went to school at Greymouth?
No, Marist Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd have been there with Jerry Morris and a few of those.
Jared's a couple of years older than me, but yeah. With Jared, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
What started your interest in panel beating?
It was a job. At the time I was sick of school. And I just thought it was time I got a job. And applied for a job at West Coast Motor Bodies with Tim Harris. As a apprentice panel beater, got the job. And 2 days after I got the job, Lee Stanton come along and offered me a plumbing apprenticeship. But wow. I'd already signed into a panel beating apprenticeship 2 days before.
And what year was that?
It'd have to be 72, 73.
Wasn't it amazing in those days? There were jobs everywhere, weren't there?
There was, yeah, you pick your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could have been a plumber, you probably could have been a spade, you could have been a panel beater.
And the trade I thought first thing I'd do was a cabinet maker, but that never eventuated.
Right.
Yeah, I thought I would want to be a cabinet maker. I sort of enjoyed working with Dad with timber, because Dad was a carpenter, and I thought cabinet making would be a good trade, but as I say, panel beating come along, I grabbed that one, and here we are.
And so you started work, you worked for them for
I worked for West Coast Motor Bodies for probably 6 years. Then I went to Australia for 4 months. And when I come back, I went to see Tim Harris at West Coast Motor Bodies, and he says, yeah, there's a job there, but you've got to start in the next 2 days. And I didn't ask why it had to be the next 2 days, they said the next 2 days. So I started, and the next day it was announced that West Coast Motor Bodies had been sold to Shafes. So I started off working for Shafes then. Worked for Shafes for probably 5 or 6 years, and then they got snapped up by Westgold Motors. So then I worked for Westgold Motors, and I was running the panel shop at this stage, as the foreman of the panel shop. And after about 3 years working for Westgold Motors, they come and says, if you want to buy the department you run, you can buy the department. So I bought the panel shop off Westgold Motors.
Yeah.
And I ran it uptown for 2 years where it was. I tried to buy the building off them that I was in, but they wouldn't sell it to me, so we come down here and bought this building down here in Preston Road and been here ever since.
Shafes were royalty in the car industry.
They certainly were. They were the leaders in it there for quite a while. Big firm.
I remember my dad putting his name down for a Holden and waiting. He might have waited a year or so.
Yeah.
And then this EH Holden arrived, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, well, when Westgold Motors took over, they already had Holden as such, Shafes. Well, then they had got Toyota, because Brown Motors all got snaffled up in the same deal.
Oh, okay.
So they ended up with Toyota, and Brown Motors at that stage already had Mazda. They'd taken Mazda, because Westgold Motors already owned Brown Motors.
Yeah.
So we had 7 franchises, Nissan, Mazda, Toyota, Holden, even had Skoda. So the franchises there were unbelievable. So
we've been different today, isn't it?
It certainly is.
So how's panel beating changed today to what it was, say, 30 years ago?
The basics of panel beating are still the same, but dealing with insurance companies has certainly changed. Insurance companies are hard work to deal with. They will our business.
Yep.
They will panel beating. They tell you what they're giving you, what we're getting, and really that's about it. We give them a quote, and they cut our quote to pieces.
It's every time?
Oh, no, not every time. So some are better than others. Some insurance companies are better than others. But as such, we don't see assessors now. So assessors used to come and look at the job.
Yep.
We'd go over the job with them, explain what we wanted to do, how long we wanted. And if it was going to get cut back, it'd get cut back then. But it's all done with digital photos now. The photos all sent away. And they virtually tell us, they send us a list saying, this is how long you got to change a door, this is how long you got to fit a mudguard. We don't get a choice in that. The only time we can pick a wee bit up is our actually repair time, our labour to repair things. Well, they can't tell us that, but we might tell them we want 10 hours or something and they'll give us 7. They'll say, oh, we think there's only 7 hours on that. And yeah, so it is reasonably hard work.
Now you've, over the years, you've employed lots and lots of apprentices.
Yeah, I have, yeah. And I've actually just taken another joker on now. He's on 90-day trial and there'll be apprenticeship when he's out of his 90 days as well. Adult apprenticeship, that one. He's doing an adult apprenticeship.
I look on your wall there and, I can see all the certificates of various achievements that some of your apprentices have achieved.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely.
So how many do you reckon you've employed?
I've probably over that time, there might be 8 to 10 apprentices, I suppose. Yeah, I only usually have one at a time. Once one comes out, I sort of start thinking about another one then. So.
And you realise that you'll no doubt be up on the fact that there's huge incentives now to take on.
Certainly is. So I've made inquiries about that. Yeah, and it is good. Yeah,
it's very good. And of course, your local mayor Tanya Gibson's got a Mayor's Task Force for Money fund that can assist your apprentice buy tools and all sorts of things.
Yeah, I've been talking to Tanya. We've had a discussion. Yeah,
she's great, isn't she?
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah. And it's work in progress. So yeah.
So John, where will panel beating go? For the next 30 years.
Well, it's always going to be here, but some of the bigger insurance companies now are just in the process of setting their own shops up. They've just done a big one in Hamilton or in Auckland, I'm not sure. And they actually do, all the smaller jobs go to their own panel shop now. And the more structural jobs come out to jokers like us. But I seen an email from them last week saying it's worked that good, they are going to do other shops in the rest of New Zealand as well now. I don't think one will come to the coast, but the major centres will have shops.
Well, one thing I think you and I have probably both learned over the years is that they get into, like BP did with its, with the hotels.
Yep.
They get in, they give it a burst, doesn't work, and then they break it up.
Sell it off, yeah, that's right.
And I think probably that's probably the direction that it'll go. They'll be a pain in the bum for
well, AMI did it years ago, or SIMU as it was in those days.
Yes.
They did it in a few, like in Christchurch, they bought Steel Brothers, our big building in Lincoln Road, and turned that into SIMU panel shop. And they done all the road repairs in Christchurch at SIMU panel shop. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many staff do you have on here, roughly?
6. Yeah.
Big employer.
A couple of contractors. I've got a couple of jokers on contract, and yeah.
And Greymouth, how does Greymouth feel at the moment? 30 years on.
At the moment, it feels good.
Yeah.
But with this COVID and that, anything could happen. Yeah. Since the lockdown, it's been ballistic. And everybody in the auto industry in Greymouth's done the same things, but flat out.
Coastwide.
Yeah, coastwide, yeah. But we're all wondering when it's going to stop, when the bubble's going to burst. So it's wait and see.
Well, maybe it's all that money that used to go offshore when we all went on holidays.
That's dead right.
And tidying up those things that we never had time to tidy up.
Yeah, well, they reckon in Christchurch, when they knew what was going to happen with COVID, all the elite car dealers over there couldn't get enough cars. Jokers buying new cars for the wives, so they couldn't take them on holiday.
Yeah.
And they're in like Wardies and all that. They couldn't get enough of them. Flat out.
I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
So how does can a panel beater diversify?
We are pretty. We're a bit light engineer. When I done my apprenticeship at West Coast Motor Bodies, I done a bit of coach building as well, because we were coach builders and panel beaters.
Okay.
And so a bit of light engineering we can do, like putting decks on trucks and making wee decks and things like that. Yeah. We can diversify, yeah.
Now I've seen the plans to upgrade the slipway just across from here.
Yeah, that's right.
With a big covered in the building.
Yeah, massive place.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually going to create opportunities for your business.
There'd be spin-offs for us. Yeah.
I don't know what they'll be, but it'll create opportunities.
Yeah. No, we've done a few years ago. Joe had a fishing boat. He's from Hawaii. We took all the windows out for him. Got all the rust down the windows.
Okay.
On sandblast, we took the windows out and refitted them for him, and bits and pieces like that. Yeah.
So, if you were a young man today, you're out there looking for a job, panel beating?
Definitely. It's always going to be here. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be a panel beater. It's all hands-on stuff. It's not theory stuff. It's practical, not theory.
Which is fantastic.
It is.
Is it true that more cars get damaged in the winter?
Not really. It's not. People
no.
think that, that driving in the snow and they're going to get more, but what we find, this is only my own theory, in winter, and you've got to go to Christchurch, you only go if you really have to go. And normally you're a good driver to go and drive over there in the winter.
Yeah.
An older person would think, no, I'm not going to wait, I'm going to wait till the spring before I go to Christchurch. So the ones who go in the snowy and icy conditions, usually good drivers, and they're only going because they have to go.
What's one of the biggest jobs you've taken on in your workshops here?
Well, just thinking how you've asked the question, we got involved in a big 180 tonne digger that got rolled up at Stockton. Doug Hoods rolled a 180 tonne digger up there.
Wow.
And he come back to Cable Price next door, and we got involved in repairing that digger. It was a massive job.
So all the panels?
Yeah, we had squaring the whole frames back up again and repairing panels, and yeah, it was a massive job. Probably more for Cable Price, but we I can't remember what our bill was. Yeah, it was probably 2 months working it for us.
Goodness me.
Yeah, no, it was a big job.
And did you get the panels straight?
We got them straight. Of course we got them straight.
I tell you what, that'll take some.
That's what we're here for.
Of course, that'll take some. How's plastic changed a panel beater's job?
It certainly has, but for a start, when plastic first came out and the bumper was damaged, a plastic bumper, we'd send them to Christchurch to get them repaired in Christchurch. But now we've all got the technology ourselves now, and bought them the welders and the staplers to put them back together. We do it all ourselves now. So, but there certainly is a lot more plastic in vehicles, and it's better, for the better.
It's been like a lot of the bumper bars are plastic, aren't they?
They are all of them are.
Oh,
Except on the odd Utes now. A lot of Utes have still got metal bumpers on, but yeah.
I noticed I backed into my trailer the other day and the bumper bar went in and then it popped out.
It popped out again, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes look, there's a dint there, leaving out the sun for a few hours and go back and it's come out.
So tell me, what type of work do you do? Paint?
We've got a paint shop out the back, but we lease it out to a painter, yeah. So we do paint, but I don't own the actual paint. I own the building, but not the business.
And so you do the panel beating?
Yes, panel beating, salvage work, got 24-hour towing and salvage.
Okay, so if someone breaks down or if they
have an accident, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been fairly steady over the years?
It has been, yeah, it certainly has been, yeah. I've still got the old Bedford I bought off. Well, I come from Shafe. Shafe's built years ago, and I've still got the old TK Bedford going now. And
does it still go all right?
It goes like a dream. I've put an Isuzu motor in it since I've had it.
Yeah.
And a 5-speed gearbox. But other than that, really, I haven't had an issue with it.
TK Bedford. Gosh, I haven't heard that name for a long time.
They're few and far between now.
So you'd have picked up a lot of vehicles between probably here and Punakaiki?
Oh, you're probably here in Punakaiki, Otera. Yeah. Sometimes been to South Westland. Different ones, LA customers of ours that have actions in South Westland. Yeah. I even towed a bus to Christchurch with it. The bus went over there to Terra Gorge. We actually winched the out of Terra Gorge. It was a netball team on it actually. Went over there, I'm not sure, it had to be probably 15, 20 years ago. Winched it out, we brought it back to the testing station here because they had to check it over and make sure it was safe and what caused the accident, they had to go over it.
Yeah.
And then the owner of the bus wanted us to tow it to Christchurch. It was a 40-seater bus, we had 42 seats. We got that to Christchurch with the old Bedford.
So you hooked her in behind and away you went?
We actually towed on a steel bar in here, put a solid steel bar between it. I towed it from Otera back to here on the hook. That was a bit of an issue, but yeah, we got here.
It should have been a slow trip to Christchurch, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't quick. We actually started the bus up, going up the gorge and did the old record bit of a push going up just to get her up there.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So John, when someone has an issue with, is it only cars?
Oh no, we do commercial. We've got a big workshop here. We do a lot of digger work, truck work. We do the whole 9 yards really.
So excavators, dozers, trucks.
Yeah. Anything really. We quite often got diggers in here that have been rolled over and.
Because it is a big workshop you've got.
It is a good workshop, yeah.
And I just had a look there before. Man, busy.
Yeah, it used to be liquor land actually years ago. It was built for liquor land.
Right.
Yeah, and the building out the front there's a second-hand trading shop out the front.
Yes.
That used to be the retail shop. And then me and Cocky bought these buildings. Cocky wild me. He had the gym next door, Fat Max's gym.
Yeah.
The gym was there. And then when the council bought the gym out to go up to the aquatic centre, up to the recreation centre, R&M trading now in the building that the gym was in.
Well, it's always busy in this area of town, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is.
And getting busier from what I
It's
can
amazing what vehicles go up and down Preston Road. A lot of people who live south of Greymouth, going to work, don't go down the main road, they turn for the aerodrome and come down around Preston Road. So, no, it is very busy.
Yeah, look, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Well, look, how do people get hold of you? You know,
Call on the phone.
coast-wide. What do they do? Go into Uncle Google
Yeah,
and
I've got a website there, which I don't really advertise a lot, but there is a website there.
And is it John Pfeifer Panelbeating?
If they do a search under John Pfeifer Panelbeating, it'll come up.
It'll come up every time.
It will, yeah.
Well, there we go, coasters. It's 30 years tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, yeah. First day of whitebait season, 1st of September.
How appropriate.
Yeah, it is.
How appropriate. And
Yeah.
providing service to coasters for 30 years. The man's been in the industry for coming up to 50.
Yeah.
John Pfeifer Panelbeating in Greymouth. John, congratulations to you and your staff. That's a great achievement, and looking out there, it looks to me like you're going to be there for another 30.
Yeah, no, she certainly is busy, and I appreciate what you've done, Bruce. All good.
And we'll catch you later.
Well, yeah, mate.